The Hamptons 5 is they're now known. Is that the best starting 5 in the last 40 years? I mean, it's the worst name, but is that the best starting 5 in the last 40 years?
In the last 40 years, the best starting 5?
Yes.
So Curry, Durant, Iggy, Draymond, Clay.
Yeah.
Look, last 40 years, let me see. Okay. I liked, go ahead. Joe Dumars, Isaiah, Rodman, Lambeer, Isaiah, or how about Magic, Worthy, Byron Scott, Kareem.
Okay, which one would you take? I didn't even put the Pistons in here, and I should. Bird, McHale, Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. Bill Walton was sixth man of the year. He came off the bench. 87, you had Kareem, Magic, Worthy, Byron Scott, and A.C. Green. 96 Bulls, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Harper, Longley. 2011 Heat, Wade, Bosch, LeBron, Big Z, and Chalmers. And then you throw in the bad boys of the Pistons in there, which sneaky underrated, I would say, with Zeke and Dumars, Hall of Famers in the backcourt, Lambeer, Rodman. Do we have Mark Aguirre in there as well?
Mark Aguirre. I would take all those teams other than that Miami team over the Warriors, starting 5. All those teams you mentioned other than that Miami team. Because let's face this too. That starting 5 for the Golden State Warriors, that's a small lineup.
Yeah.
Can you think about them going against that Boston Celtic or that LA Laker, Kareem, Magic, and Worthy team? I mean, those guys are small. Now, don't get me wrong. They are quick, athletic, but again, depends on what rules we're playing with, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the new millennium. But I would still take all those other teams other than that Miami team over Golden State.
Well, if you're doing old school rules, then I'm going to take those teams. I'll take the 87 Lakers, 86 Celtics. I'll take the bad boys of the early 90s. But if I'm playing today's
new school rules, I'm still taking those teams over Golden State.
All right. I was curious about that. You could make a case.
Yes.
That Pistons team is as talented as any team in the last 30 years.
Thank you.
You can make a case. I can make a strong case. I got John Sally coming off the bench.
I'll tell you where they're number one. I will tell you where they're number one at. They were absolutely number one. They were the toughest and meanest team over the last 30 years. No one comes close.
Did they try to hurt you intentionally?
What do you think?
Yes,
That's why I walk with a limp right now.
I just thought that was your gangster lean. I didn't know that you were walking with a limp because of the Pistons.
No, thanks, Bill. You just think I walk cool. That's driving to the hole against the bad boys.
Oh man, you should file a lawsuit against them. File a claim.
No, it's all good. Badge of honor.
Thank you, Reg.
You're the best, Theodore. Love you, Danette.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III. Tomorrow night in Houston at 8 Eastern on TNT. You got that roster with the bad boys?
Their first title, they had Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Lambier, Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre on the same team. With the trade, they didn't play really together. Dennis Johnson, Dennis Rodman, Vinnie Johnson, Rick Mahorn, John Sally, James Edwards. They go 10 deep.
Wow.
Come on.
What?
James Edwards was in the starting lineup with Lambier. This Warriors team would run them off the court. It'd be 50-15 by the end of the first quarter. There's no way. In today's game, no way.
Okay.
They didn't have anyone even shot a three, really.
I know, but if we played in the 90s rules,
I just think this Warriors team is way more talented. They were all about roughness and style. I didn't think of them as talented.
So the backcourt's in the Hall of Fame.
Isaiah and Dumars is amazing.
Rodman is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but was that fully operational Rodman? I'm actually asking.
No, you wanted that Rodman with the bad boys because he would be. You think Draymond Green is a good defender, effective? I got Rodman against Draymond Green. That's awesome. You give me Dumars and Isaiah against Steph and Clay. That's great. Durant is where he's the unicorn out there. You got to deal with him. But as far as presence inside. I would put Rodman on Durant.
By the way, Rodman didn't really start for that team.
No, but whenever they played the Celtics, he guarded Bird. That's all I needed to know of how good he was as a defender.
You make a case.
That team is so deep.
But I mean, the Warriors have how many Hall of Famers there? They have just go Hall of Fame for Hall of Famer. Curry Hall of Famer, Durant Hall of Famer, Clay will be borderline. Draymond probably not, but he's not far.
But who's their lockdown defender?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, Detroit played great defense. It would be fun to see that because I do have a Hall of Fame backcourt there in Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. But looking at some of those teams, the Celtics front line, I got Bird, McHale, and Parrish. And back then, the Celtics ran. If you watch them against the Lakers, they ran with the Lakers. But that front line, I mean, that's the best front line in the history of basketball. I got 3 Hall of Famers with Bird, McHale, and Parrish. I got Walton is the 6th man of the year coming off the bench. Obviously, 6th man of the year. Yes.
Was there no salary cap back then? Is that how these Hall of Famers all stayed together? This must have been pre-salary cap, right? You couldn't do that today, except I guess the Warriors.
I don't know.
It's amazing that those teams.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.